Hey everybody, some Gadget Guy here taking a second look at Microsoft's Hyperlapse and comparing it against Instagram's Hyperlapse app. In my first review, I got a few things wrong in my comparison between the two, and of course, making a mistake is the fastest way to be called a shill on the internet, so let's see if we can't fix that, yeah? First of all, I had no idea about the absolutely moronic hidden menu on the Instagram Hyperlapse app. Really, Insta? 4-finger quad tap is the only way to enable 1080p video and faster time-lapse speeds. Really? How are you as developers able to feed and dress yourselves if anyone on your team actually thought that was a good idea? I already kinda hate how the iPhone handles app settings. Then you go and pull this? Absolutely terrible. And it's one reason I'm actually glad you haven't migrated this crap version of the app to Windows Phone or Android yet. Secondly, I had a few people accusing me of favoring the Note in my comparison between the iPhone, saying I shook the phone more or deviated more in my walking. Well, this test was shot at the same time holding a phone in each hand. See the car at the end? I didn't have that woman recreate pulling into this alley to record two separate passes. But sure, I suppose I could be trying to damage my credibility by purposely shaking one phone and holding the other still. I hear the internet loves it when you play games like that. So, to quell any fears that I might be somehow doctoring these tests, allow me to introduce you to Camera Comparison Rig version 1.0. I made a thing to review other things. It's kind of a proud of me moment it turned out so well, and if there's any shaking going on, both phones will get it equally. Now, on to the test. To test the smoothing of these apps, I shot a series of samples out on some of my favorite hiking trails with the iPhone in 1080p, so we can see the difference as Microsoft's app will only turn out 720p video. Most of these Android samples were shot on the Galaxy S6 through the stock camera app and edited after the fact. For those of you complaining that I'm testing a Microsoft app on Android hardware first, the Lumia icon currently is not compatible with the Hyperlapse app, my Lumia 1520 does not easily fit in the comparison rig, and really, we should all be celebrating the fact that Microsoft is making their service cross-platform instead of locking it to one phone. Cough, cough. Instagram Hyperlapse is only available for the iPhone. Cough, cough. Starting off with a high-speed pass, Microsoft's render at 32x is ever so slightly smoother to my eye, though really hard transitions will cause black bars at the sides of the frame to compensate for movement. We can see a clear resolution advantage on the iPhone at 24x, and there's noticeably less pixelation, but throughout most of my tests, Instagram's app is absolutely miserable at handling exposure changes. It locks in whenever you hit record, and often, since you're moving for a hyperlapse, it'll result in over or underexposing parts of your shot. At 2x speed, I actually think the hardware stabilization in the GS6 is causing Microsoft's app some difficulty in matching frames for editing the video. I did not shoot with software stabilization on the Galaxy, and the hardware is warping the frame enough that Hyperlapse is returning an even more jello-y result. The movement actually looks a little cleaner at this slow speed on the iPhone, as it's not using any hardware stabilization to bend the frame. But the color and exposure are again terrible. Moving up to 4x and over some rougher terrain, Microsoft's app gets jumpier, compensating for the extreme difference in my footfalls. The video data compression is killing some of the color info, and a lot of this foliage is getting blurry. This is one of the few shots where the iPhone got the exposure right, and we have prettier color. But when the downhill gets rough, it really doesn't seem like the Instagram app is doing as much to compensate for movement, and I'm getting some weird fogging on the left-hand side of the frame. Instagram's tool here seems a bit more focused on speed ramping than shake compensation. On a driving test, the resolution disadvantage isn't as severe here as scenery flies by. You won't be focusing on individual leaves and small details. Microsoft's effect really does seem to benefit from faster playback speeds. Instagram's app also has a strong showing. This is exactly the kind of movement that helps aid hyperlapse videos, as driving is smoother than walking. The Insta Hyperlapse app won't produce the exact same speeds as the Microsoft app. Here we have playback at 24x, which is smack dab in between the 16 and 32x of the Microsoft app. And here's the Microsoft scene played back at 32 times real speed. The exposure situation on Instagram's app is really frustrating. I just don't understand a time-lapse app that won't make changes for differences in lighting. Stationary camera or moving camera, this is one of two primary advantages to Microsoft's approach. Here's the Instagram app walking the creepy tunnel from my camera reviews, and Microsoft shot directly from within the app. It's an extreme change in brightness, but Instagram's app just doesn't respond at all. It's very frustrating. The other major advantage to Microsoft's app is of course the ability to import a video and render multiple versions at different speeds. So where does that leave us between these two apps? It's shocking how basic Instagram has kept their offering. iOS only, and 8 months after it was released, we still see only rudimentary features for creating a time-lapse video, while major issues like exposure still feel broken. Plus, it's laughable that important features like resolution and frame rate control are buried in a secret menu. Microsoft's app is definitely a beta, and there are a number of issues I hope are resolved, like increasing resolution, and hopefully a better ability to compensate for hardware image stabilization, but on this first generation of the app, I already think they're in a better position to move forward than Instagram. Plus, it can't be overstated how happy I am to see cross-platform support for Windows Phone and Android at launch. So while I got a few things wrong in my initial comparison between these two apps of almost the same name, I still stand by my original assessment on which app I prefer to use, and if I never have to say the word hyperlapse again, I could die a happy man. I'll of course leave some links down below this video where you can find more info on both hyperlapse apps. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more reviews like these, and I would not be able to continue producing on this channel if you all weren't out there sharing my videos on social sites like Reddit, Google+, Facebook, and the Twitters. So please keep bringing more cool people to the party. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.